Hi book lovers, welcome back to my channel. Happy December, happy holidays, happy almost Christmas. Today I thought I would share with you all some Christmas books, anything related to winter, the holidays, any Christmas romances that I got over the past couple months. I think I started getting Christmas romances in the mail around July. Which is pretty early, but at the same time I know Christmas in July is a thing, but like from July until December, I have consistently been getting Christmas books in the mail from publishers. So I don't know when it's too early to start getting them, but I have a lot of them that I want to share with you all. And maybe if you are in the holiday mood, if you're looking for a Christmas romance, you could pick something out of this list. I sadly have not read very many of them, maybe like 2 or 3. So I'm excited to make a kind of sort of TBR video out of it. This is gonna be part book haul, part TBR. Very loose TBR because I have a really hard time sticking to those TBRs that I make for myself. But I am in the holiday mood, so I'm dying to read something Christmassy and wintry and all that good stuff because I don't get snow where I live, which is fine by me. But I do like reading about it, especially with romances where the main couple may get stuck together in a snowstorm, so they are forced to be together for a certain period of time. Those are always so much fun to read. I'm not even sure if any of these books that I have will have that kind of trope, but I'm hoping one of them will. I'm gonna start off with the Christmas romancy books that I have read, which are these 3, and technically only one of them can be read as a standalone because the other 2 are part of a series. I'm not sure anyone will want to go into these without having read the other books in the series, but this one I really enjoyed it. Wrapped Up in You by Joel Chalvis. This is book 7 or 8 in the Heartbreaker Bay series. I've only read a couple books in the series and I'm not caught up at all, but I had no problem going into this out of order, which I generally don't like to do, but there's just a lot of books in the series and I wanted to read this one. And it was totally fine, like even as a standalone if I hadn't read the others in the series. It's totally fine to read, but this one was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. Look at this cute, adorable step back. It takes place in this little area in San Francisco, and during the winter time, the heroine is a taco truck owner, and the hero is from Idaho, and he's in San Francisco for a little vacation. They've both got some things to deal with from their past. The hero has some trust issues, especially when it comes to love, and the heroine has like a kind of messed up brother that's always kind of brought her down. But Ivy and Kel find this really sweet and wonderful connection together, and I just had so much fun reading this. It was the perfect wintry read, especially when I read it in October, I think. It's got an amazing cast of characters. You get to meet a couple of the other couples from the previous books in the series, and they're all so much fun. This one is one that I would highly recommend if you're looking for a new Christmas romance that released this year. So these next 2, like I said, are not really standalones. You can't really read the Winter Tales anthology by Tiffany Rice without having read the original Sinner series completely. There are so many spoilers in this book, but I love this one. I'll talk more about it in my wrap up, but it was just so much fun being back in the original Sinners world, being back with Nora, Soren, Kingsley, and even Nico. All of the 5 anthologies take place during the winter time, during Christmas, through various time periods of these characters' lives. So if you have read the original Sinners, this is a perfect addition to the series, and it is a perfect read for the winter time. It is so cozy. You get to travel to France to find Nico in the winter time. Soren kind of kidnaps Kingsley and takes him up to this cabin in Maine in the middle of the woods where they kind of first met. It was just really heartwarming and sweet, but obviously also really hot too because the series is erotica. And then Where Winter Finds You by Jared Ward. This one is Trez's book, his final like romance. You probably should not read this one as a standalone. You at least have to read The Shadows In the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, that's where you first get like the first part of Trez's story. And then in Where Winter Finds You, we finally get Trez's much awaited happily ever after. It's very much like a Christmas miracle kind of story, Trez getting a second chance at love. It takes place in New York, Caldwell. I'm not sure that's a real place. But obviously being in New York, there's snow everywhere, so that part I kind of liked reading about. This is also the only paranormal Christmas romance that I have that I probably ever own. I can't really think of any other paranormal romance Christmas story off the top of my head. I'm not sure those are very common. I'm sure there are probably some that are more companion books like this one is, but I just don't think that paranormal Christmas romances are very much a thing, which kind of sucks because I would love to read a Christmas PNR, but this is the only PNR that I have Christmas related, so if you want a Christmas miracle but with vampires, go for this one. These next few I do want to read. I'm not sure I'll get to them all, but I'm just gonna add them to my TBR anyway. So the first one is All I Want for Christmas Is You by Miranda Eliason. This one I know is on Bree's TBR, Falling for Romance, so hopefully we both enjoy it. I have read her first book, her debut book, a while ago, and I enjoyed it, but this one has all the tropes that I kind of love, so I'm really excited about it. It's got an accidental pregnancy and a fake relationship, in this case a fake engagement, and it's friends to lovers, which is one of my favorite tropes. I think the heroine is the one who has had a long-time crush on the hero, and then he finally realizes that he likes her back but is too afraid to take the risk, of course. Mainly it is the friends to lovers and fake engagement thing that is really making me want to read this one. I adore this cover. Very Christmassy, puppy too. This next one is also another friends to lovers Christmas romance. I'm not really surprised that a lot of Christmas romances are friends to lovers. I guess there's something about the winter time, the Christmas time, that brings people closer together. And there's always the whole mistletoe thing, like, oops, we're standing right below the mistletoe. How did that happen? Let's kiss. So this one is Cowboy Christmas Redemption by Macy Yates. I know a lot of people love Macy Yates, but I just have not read her yet. I really want to, so maybe this one will be my first. So this is Friends to Lovers. The heroine is a single mom, and she and the hero have been best friends for about 5 years. The heroine has a Christmas wish list to be kissed under the mistletoe, because of course, and when the hero finds out about it, he is determined to make sure that he's the one who ends up under the mistletoe with her. This one has got another puppy on the cover. These next two Christmas romances on my TBR are historical romances. They are actually the only historical Christmas romances that I have two. Historical Christmas romances are apparently also not as common either. But first up is actually an anthology by 4 historical romance authors. It's How the Duke Stole Christmas by Sarah McLean, Tessa Dare, Joanna Shoup, and Sophie Jordan. I have read 3 of these authors. Joanna Shoup is the only one I haven't read yet. That's kind of why I like reading anthologies, not just because of the story from that favorite author that I got that anthology specifically for, but to try new to me authors. It's a great way of getting a sense of that author's writing to see if they're for you. I also got to meet Tessa Dare a couple weeks ago, and she is the sweetest person ever, and she signed my copy. So we've got a second chance romance from Sarah McLean, a kind of sort of marriage of convenience from Tessa Dare. We do have a Stranded in the Snowstorm story from Sophie Jordan. And the last one from Joanna Shoup is a Falling for the Duke Boss kind of Christmas romance. I have a feeling I'll be reading this one first just because I freaking love Tessa Dare and Sarah McLean. I have read Sophie Jordan, and her historical romances have been hit or miss. I've enjoyed some not so much, but all 4 short stories sound so great. I am especially excited for the second chance romance from Sarah McLean. And last on my TBR is a Mackenzie Clan Christmas by Jennifer Ashley. This is part of her Mackenzie series, which I kind of binge read earlier this year. I read the first 4 books and love them so much. So now I am in love with the Mackenzie family, and the fact that we get some bonus Christmas romances from the series makes me so happy. There are 2 novellas in here. The first one is about the first couple from The Madness of Lord Ian Mackenzie, about Ian and Beth after, you know, they got married and had a baby. And then the second short story is about all 4 of these brothers. I am just really excited to be back with these Highlanders. I love them so much. If you ever need Highlander romances to read, you have to read the Mackenzie series. One of my new favorites. Alpha heroes, awesome heroines, and of course guys in kilts. These next few are ones that sound really great, but I'm just not sure I'll be able to read them all in time, so I'm not going to add them to my TBR. But I am a big mood reader, so if the mood strikes me, I'll probably grab, you know, a random book that sounds really good to me and just start it. So the first one is another Macy Yates book. This is Rancher's Wild Secret. There's actually 2 books in one in this one. The second one is Hold Me Cowboy. So both of them are cowboy romances, cowboy Christmas romances. The first story is a marriage of convenience story, and the second one is a stuck in a snowstorm kind of Christmas romance. That one does appeal to me, so I might just pick this one up and read the second story in this one. And then we have Tangled Up in Christmas by Lisa Renee Jones. This one is a small town romance, as a lot of these Christmas romances are, and it is a second chance romance. There's also another bonus story in this one too. I didn't realize that a lot of these Christmas romances, or at least these like mass market paperbacks, have a lot of bind-ups in them, so that's nice. And then we have The Trouble with Christmas by Amy Andrews. The heroine in this one lies to her family and says that her landlord is her new boyfriend, so now she has to ask her landlord to be her pretend boyfriend. This one sounds like a lot of fun, very much opposites attract kind of romance. He hates Christmas, she does not. He wants a quiet life, she cannot stop talking. So this one sounds perfect for Christmas. And then we have Jessica Clare's A Cowboy Under the Mistletoe. I think this is the 3rd book in this cowboy series of hers. One of the other 2 books in the series may be a Christmas wintry romance from last year, but I have not read those yet. I actually love Jessica Clare, like I love her billionaire romances, but I have not given this cowboy series a try yet. We've got our classic dog out in the snow on the cover in this one. In this one, the heroine is more of the rancher rather than the hero, and he kind of needs to learn how to be a rancher, how to run a ranch, so he gets lessons from the heroine. And then Oh Christmas Night by Jane Porter. This one, the heroine inherits a bookstore, which is the dream. So she moves to the small town and tries to bring this bookstore to life. The hero is an entrepreneur, and he wants to buy the bookstore from her because of the location, and he wants to make a restaurant out of it. And this last one is kind of similar, but instead of a bookstore, it is an inn. The heroine runs across a listing for this inn that was owned by her grandparents. So she wins the auction for the inn and decides to fix it up and repair it to its former glory, and she gets help from her childhood friend who used to have a crush on her. These last few are more of the woman's fiction-y kind of romances, but still perfect for Christmas. And first up is Christmas Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella. I know Lisa, Remarkably Lisa, loves Sophie Kinsella, and this one is on her TBR, so I'll probably just wait to see what she thinks about it. I've never actually read any of the Shopaholic books. I've only watched the movies, I think, and it has been a long time since I last read Sophie Kinsella. Not sure I'll be getting to this one anytime soon. And then I have We Met in December by Rosie Curtis. The heroine in this one moves to London and starts falling for her apartment mate, aka flatmate, but after she goes home for like the holidays or something, she comes back and he is dating someone else, a girl from the floor above them. So now she's like, what to do? I adore the cover for this one. one so very wintry. Next I have Let It Snow by Nancy Thayer. This one, the heroine is a shopkeeper, but her rent was just raised, so now she's not sure if she can continue to be a shopkeeper. She ends up connecting with the landlord's family and falling for them, especially the landlord's granddaughter's uncle. And last is A Mrs. Miracle Christmas by Debbie Maycomer. This one sounds interesting. I'm not sure I like the blurb. It's got like a little fantastical element to it where this angel of a neighbor called Mrs. Miracle comes to help the heroine and her family in miraculous ways. So those are all the Christmas books, Christmas romances that I have to show you guys. If you're interested in any of these, if you want to read any of these, let me know. Hopefully I'll be able to stick to my TBR. It's only 4 books, so not too bad. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas time. I know I am. I've been listening to Christmas music all day. I watched The Night Before Christmas with Vanessa Hudgens. The movie was okay. I liked the one last year better, but it was still fun to watch. Made some pumpkin pecan pie while watching that movie. So yeah, happy holidays. I'll leave a link to all the books in the description below. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!